Let's check in on the schedule of the Senate and find out what's on the priority list for the week ahead. And Greg Peterson is on the road. We'll use some of his time from his busy schedule and get an update for you. And we've got to check in on what's got the grain markets under pressure to start a new week of trade.
Live from the dawn of this week via Farm Journal broadcast, this is AgriTalk. This morning we begin with a conversation with Senator Charles Grassley. Then it's Machinery Pete, Greg Peterson, and directly following the news, Brett Waltz from BAM WX. I'm the handsome newsman Davis Michelson, and now, welcome the host of AgriTalk, Chip Flory.
All right, Davis. Yeah, here we go. Stumbling out the chute, getting ready for another week.
Yeah, man. Yep. The chute's open. We got to go through.
Go. That's right. That's right. How's things going, buddy?
Super terrific. 51 degrees and sunny. I feel like I could lift a car right now, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for this week. Let's do it.
That's fantastic. Good. Mm-hmm. Because
how you doing?
I'm feeling, this could be kind of a scary week on AgriTalk if that's the case, because I'm kind of right there with you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can lift a car.
Yeah.
I don't know
maybe
if I
we should
do
try
that.
it.
I could maybe plow a field.
Oh, well, now that's actually useful. I mean, me lifting a car, I'd just sort of be showing off, and then that's it. Let's go get some pizza,
Yeah.
But you're plowing a field. That's something.
You bet. Well, it's that time of the year, except we do have some cooler temperatures that are expected to make their way back into the forecast. And are we going to go from this incredible stretch of above normal temperatures into a period where we might see some below normal temperatures for a while? We'll find out from Brett about that. And, of course, Senator Grassley will be on with us here in just a little bit. Everybody wants to know exactly what the process is going to be for the Senate on several issues right now. We got to finish up the appropriations bills. We've got to take a look at the Biden administration's budget plans for 2025. Yeah. So we've got to do that. We've got some trade issues that we need to discuss. We've got the border. We've got funding issues. Dude, we'll use every second of the conversation with Senator Grassley, and then time for another update from Greg Peterson.
Awesome.
All right, you ready to go? Let's get started.
I think I'm ready. Lots to get to here. Private exporters reported cancellations of sales of 264,000 metric tons of soft-fed winter wheat for delivery to China. That's for the 23-24 marketing year. Is this the third in a series, Chip?
Yeah, third in the series and the largest one to date. Mm-hmm. So there's still about 750,000 metric tons of U.S. soft red winter wheat that are on the books for export to China. So there may be some more cancellations yet.
Well, let's talk about the National Weather Service weather outlook. Heavy, wet snow will continue into the morning hours on Monday across the higher elevations of the northern New England and portions of the lower Great Lakes. Unsettled weather is expected to persist across the Pacific Northwest and into the northern Rockies with multiple rounds of lower elevation rain and higher elevation snow. Fire danger to increase across the central and southern high plains from very dry conditions, gusty winds, and warm temperatures.
Yeah, the red flag warnings are back out in the middle of the country, too. So be careful. The wind is going to be blowing, temperatures are going to be warm, and fires are going to be spreading.
A little economic news for us here. A significant portion of Vanguard's 401k account holders, representing 3.6% of its plan participants, made early withdrawals from their accounts last year for financial emergencies. That set a record. Despite the intended purpose of retirement plans like the 401k to preserve American savings for later in life, increasing balances have led more individuals to feel comfortable accessing these funds when necessary. Private sector activity showed signs of decline in January with job growth and slowing wage growth decelerating in February. While some indicators suggest strong future production, Dr. Vince Malanga points out that weakness in the commercial property market and overall economic uncertainty continue to pose risks.
Yeah, we knew that commercial property was going to be a big, big issue with more workers staying at home, and it is.
Yep. Well, average American household debt has surged amid economic challenges, as we've discussed before, Chip. Household debt in the United States reached $17.5 trillion by the end of last year, marking a significant increase of almost $3.5 trillion since 2019. Gold prices have been rising steadily despite the strong performance of the U.S. stock market and economy. Gold reached an all-time high of $2,100.95 per ounce with a year-to-date gain of 5%, 12-month gain of 19%. Meanwhile, Chip, the price of Bitcoin has reached a record high, surpassing 71,000. The surge comes after 5 consecutive days of rallying, with Bitcoin gaining over 60% since the beginning of the year. Congress is currently in discussion over this year's budget, but attention is shifting toward negotiations for fiscal year 2025. Today, President Joe Biden will unveil his plan for the upcoming fiscal year. Given that Republicans control the House of Representatives, Biden's budget proposal is unlikely to pass into law. However, it serves as an opportunity for him to outline his priorities leading up to the presidential election. Mm-hmm. In other news, hopes dimmed for a ceasefire deal between Hamas and Israel as the holy month of Ramadan began. And Pope Francis faced criticism for suggesting that Ukraine should negotiate with Russia and have the courage of the white flag to end the war. His remarks, made in an interview on Saturday, drew a quick response from Kiev, which emphasized its commitment to its national flag and resistance against Russian aggression. Chip.
All right. Thank you very much, Davis. Let's bring in Brett Waltz, BAMWX.com. Good morning, Brett.
Hey, good morning, Chip.
Okay, let's take a look at the forecast that we've got coming up. The National Weather Service is moving from the above normal trend in temperatures to near normal, below normal trends in the Midwest. Do you guys see that happening?
Yeah, I do. And I think that it kind of continues as we close out the month of March and probably even to start April. But we do still have some warm days ahead. I think the next week or so in general is probably pretty mild, record warmth today. But I do think the last 10-ish days of the month or so are probably going to be chillier compared to how the month as a whole has been so far.
Okay, put that in perspective. I like the use of chillier rather than colder.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it cold because normal highs by late March are, into the low 50s for a lot of areas. And so you're more looking at 40s, low 50s for high temperatures. Could be some 20s for lows still in there, but it's nothing crazy.
Gotcha. Okay. The trend is changing down in South America too, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. South America is kind of an interesting spot over the next few weeks because I would say that there's two separate areas of extremes, and just kind of looking out through the end of the month and into early April even. Central Brazil, Mato Grosso do Sul is an area that I think it's pretty hot compared to normal and probably pretty dry as well. Where if you just go a little bit further south, far southeast Brazil, Uruguay, eastern Argentina, I think especially the next 7 to 10 days, it's probably really active, maybe excessively wet in some spots. Maybe your best conditions that are a little closer to normal, Santa Fe, Buenos Aires down there.
Okay. That is something that we're going to have to keep a real close eye on as it develops, those conditions in Mato Grosso do Sul with the safrinha corn crop developing. All right, Brett, thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
Yep, thanks, Chip.
All right, Brett Waltz, BAMWX.com. Coming up next, we've got a conversation with U.S. Senator Chuck Grassley here on AgriTalk.
AgriTalk is brought to you by John Deere. For generations before and generations to come, John Deere is part of your farm and your family. Whatever your technology needs, John Deere has the tools to help grow your farm.
Welcome back to AgriTalk. I'm Chip Floyd. Glad that you're with us. Davis, it's not a perfect forecast, but it doesn't scare me all that much.
Okay. It
What
feels
are your
good.
thoughts there? Everything okay?
I would tend to agree. Dude, I've got daffodils that are like, just give me 2 more days and we're ready to go.
Is that right?
I did so much yard work yesterday. I overdid it.
You overdid it,
a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah.
Well, did you at least wrap it up with something on the grill?
Not on the grill, but there was definitely delicious food involved. at the end of the day.
Well,
Absolutely.
good.
I fueled
Good.
up and
That's
fell asleep on the couch.
Oh, good. Good. All right. Senator Chuck Grassley from Iowa joins us right now. Senator, it is great to speak with you again. How are you?
Very good, and I hope you're okay too.
You bet. You bet. We're doing real fine. I know this is one of your favorite times of the year. It's tournament time for NCAA basketball. You excited about it?
Yes, I am. I was able to watch all of the finals of the girls basketball tournament, all 5 classes.
Yeah.
I was able to watch Iowa beat Penn State and Iowa beat Nebraska.
Yeah.
And see Caitlin Clark, and I even watched Drake Men beat Indiana State yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Iowa State women have got a big game coming up today at 1:30 Central, so it just continues on. This is an exciting time of the year. All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to start by looking back here because we have not had an opportunity to get your take on President Biden's State of the Union address last week. And the thing is here, I really want your take on it because you've known the president for so long. What did you make of his remarks?
I could have heard a lot more about agriculture. 2% of these people feed the other 98%, and a lot of people around the world. It would be nice for him to praise American agriculture.
Yeah. Yeah. Did he say anything in his remarks that made you think, that's something that I could work with the White House on?
Not enough, if anything, as far as I could tell. My recollection. It's hard to recall everything in a speech that's an hour and 15 minutes long. That's plenty long. I think the reason he didn't say much about it is because rural America is Republican, and he was playing to his base. It was very much a political speech. I heard a commentary over the weekend that went back and read Harry Truman's speech to the Congress in 1948, the year he was reelected. And it was a unifying speech. It was a policy speech. It wasn't a political speech. And then in September and October and November, Truman could be very political and got reelected. But it was just a very mean political speech.
Okay. All right. Let's move on from that. Progress is being made on the appropriations bills. The ag budget has already been passed. Does that change the dynamics for the farm bill at all? Does it give the farm bill any momentum?
Not at all. But I think that I should clarify something as a result of a speech or a conversation I had on the Senate floor. It was a one-on-one conversation, so it's not in the congressional record, with Senator Stabenow, chairman of the committee, because I quoted her last week saying something along the lines that we're going to have a 1-year extension because it doesn't look like we're having a 5-year farm bill going to come out. And she said that she said more than that, and she didn't mean to imply that there wasn't a chance of getting a 5-year farm bill. So this gives me hope that we will have a 5-year farm bill. So I had that conversation with her. I had a conversation with Mr. Boozman, Senator Boozman, chairman of leader of the Republicans on the Agriculture Committee. And he says the staffs are working daily to see what sort of a farm bill they can get together. But there's still that one big hang up between more money for reference pricing
Yeah.
In other words, to put more farm into the farm bill because it's 85% food stamps, and Senator Stabenow can't cut food stamps at all. So that's something that they're working on, and the staffs are working daily. And I want to make clear that Senator Stabenow said to me that there's still a chance we can have a 5-year farm bill. Now, I'll stand by what I have said previously. If we don't see some movement in the committee by March, I don't see how you can get between now and the conventions, when after the conventions hardly anything gets done in Congress. And I doubt if a farm bill could be done in a lame duck session. So if there isn't a bill out of committee in March, I don't know whether there's much chance of getting a 5-year farm bill. But I still want to make clear that Senator Stabenow is trying to get a 5-year farm bill.
Okay. Well, that's encouraging, because last week we picked up from Senator Moran out of Kansas that Senator Stabenow had basically walked away from the farm bill because she had what she wanted on conservation and nutrition title, and that's what really mattered to her. And farm bill was losing its place as a priority on her list, but sounds like it's still very much a priority for her to get this done.
I don't want to be opposite of Senator Moran, but he may have heard the same thing that I heard her say about a 1-year extension. All I can report to the people, the farmers of Iowa and the people of Iowa, is the fact of what Senator Stabenow told me. She's still trying to work to get a 5-year farm bill.
Gotcha. Okay. Very good. Very good. Yeah, I didn't mean to put you against Senator Moran there. That's for sure. Okay. The last time that we talked, we were awaiting word on the GREET model, the final adjustments to the model that will determine if corn-based ethanol has a pathway into the sustainable aviation fuel market. That decision was supposed to come by March 1. And then USDA Secretary Vilsack, EPA Administrator Regan delayed the announcement. Vilsack said that they need more time, a few weeks, to get this right. Have you been told when we should expect an announcement on the final adjustments to GREET?
No, but it's sad commentary that they can't reach an agreement. And I am quite satisfied with what Secretary Vilsack told us in committee on this very issue. It looks to me like he's presenting to the people that are making the final decision that we need parity for grains like we do other feedstuffs going into sustainable aviation fuel. That's the next step of using ethanol for environmentally friendly fuel for commercial airlines. And so I think we got the voice of American agriculture standing up for the grain farmers in that regard. And I don't know why we should have any conflict, because environmentalists want to clean up the environment, and aviation fuel today leads to it. We get cleaner aviation fuel, then I don't know why environmentalists would want to take out of the equation a grain that is very essential if you're going to have adequate amount of aviation fuel that's environmentally friendly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a big conundrum for some of those environmentalists, that they want cleaner burning aviation fuel, but they're not all that big of a fan of corn-based ethanol, and so that's a conflict that they're going to have to get over on their own. Senator, unfortunately, we're out of time. I'd love to continue to have the conversation, but thank you so much. You're always generous with your time. Thank you.
God bless you. Goodbye.
All right. That is Senator Chuck Grassley from Iowa. There are a couple of other issues going on that we will get some news on and bring that to you later as well. All right, we've got Greg Peterson. Machinery Pete is up next.
Time for Markets Now with the experts from Pro Farmer.
Brian Grady was called away this morning, so we've got Chip Flory to talk about. I mean, dude, this morning, wheat under some heavy pressure, double-digit losses at the open, and now we've sprang clear back up into positive territory. What's going on in the wheat complex?
Well, the wheat complex is dealing with the news that you had to kick things off here this morning. Another cancellation of export sales to China, this one for 264,000 metric tons of soft red winter wheat. So the anticipation that we were going to see some cancellations leading up to last week was really weighing on the wheat market and the SRW market in particular. And now that we've got confirmation of it, you know, it's a sell the rumor, buy the fact scenario that has developed in this wheat market. So some short covering has taken over and is helping the wheat market out. Soybeans remained under some pressure, so does soybean meal, but soybean oil is mostly working to the upside. Corn just slightly lower, 2 to 3 cents lower in today's trade so far.
Looking over at the livestocks, they're slow to get out of bed today.
Yeah, absolutely. The live cattle market is looking at the cash trade from last week at that 187, 188, and has just decided that it's in a comfortable spot. Really doesn't feel the need to push in either direction at this time. Feeder cattle, I'm a little surprised that we're under pressure here this morning, with corn also under pressure, but there it is. That could just simply be a fact that we've got the funds loaded up on the long side of live cattle and feeder cattle. And then the hog market under some pressure, still narrowing up the premium that the futures hold to the lean cash hog index.
That's our own Chip Flory right here on Markets Now. Opinions expressed on AgriTalk do not necessarily reflect the views of Farm Journal Broadcasting, affiliate stations, or sponsors.
Machinery Pete here, folks. This segment of AgriTalk brought to you by our friends at Dakota Ag Innovations, makers of Dakota Shine, the best way I've seen to fix faded paint. Go to dakotashine.com, call 888-996-7801.
All right, welcome back to AgriTalk. Good conversation with Senator Grassley Davis. Gave me a little bit more optimism that Senator Stabenow will stay engaged in the Farm Bill process here.
Okay.
You didn't pick it up? You didn't feel that?
I don't know. I feel like we're kind of we'll take what we can get and call it good news if we can at this point.
Good point.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Good point.
But you know what? No, you
Fair.
do you. Be excited, brother.
Excited is an overstatement.
Okay.
A little more optimistic.
Okay. Well, maybe we're in the same spot then.
Okay. All right. Very good. Greg Peterson, Machinery Pete, joins us right now. How you doing, Greg?
Hey, I'm doing well, guys, and I'm glad to hear that there's a teeny sense of optimism. That's what we need these days. Anything?
Well, yeah. It's 52 degrees. The sun is shining. It feels like spring again. What the heck? Got to be optimistic about
67 in Minnesota today. We'll take that. That's crazy.
Yep, on our way to some highs, potentially some record highs. Well, all right, let's get to it and head over to Van Wert, Ohio for the pick of the week. What do you got?
Yeah, this was a funny one on Friday. Chip, was a dealer inventory reduction auction for HG Violet, dealer there. Case IH dealer in Van Wert, and the sale is by United Country Walton Realty and Auction. And my friend Darby Walton there dropped me a note last Thursday, and he goes, "Pete, I think I got your pick of the week." And Darby is a sharp young guy, very sharp, and he was correct. 1998 John Deere 8300 tractor, only 2,348 hours. So recipe for hot bidding there, and it came to be the case. About $110,000. That's the third highest auction price I've ever seen on a John Deere 8300.
Okay.
Of course, pre-death there, 26 years old now. Interesting, the highest one ever, it wasn't that long ago. That was just right after Thanksgiving, November 29th, farm auction, Columbia City, Indiana. We saw one actually at $135,000. That was case there where November, December was still the tax
Yeah.
buyers,
Yep.
kind of top of the market. But again, 110 really solid there, third highest ever.
Certainly is. Certainly is. That, I mean, maybe we can talk a little bit about weakness, but that's that's still an awfully stout market.
Yeah, there was another tractor actually on the same sale chip that kind of turned some heads. I thought it was a 2012 Massey 8680. 12 years old, only had 1,220 hours on it. So again, kind of a recipe for that 10-plus-year-old hot bidding. And that brought 170. That's the second highest price I've ever seen. The only higher one was 175 back just over a year ago, December of 22 in Emden, Illinois at 175. So, yeah, a couple of strong tractors there, Friday in Van Wert, Ohio.
Yeah, that Massey's clinging right up there at the highs. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we're going to have to continue to watch the trends, no doubt. So what else have you got? You've got something out of Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana.
Yeah, it was a sale last week when I called in from the road last Monday. As we were talking, I was watching the sale. It was a online dealer auction for H&R AgriPower, like you say, Chip, down out of Kentucky, Tennessee, Southern Indiana, and by Merit Auctions. And the sale wasn't done when we were talking. And as it finished up, actually, the sale pricing, it's a pretty solid prices, I thought. A couple of examples, a 21 model Case IH Magnum 380, 1,150 hours up, brought $298,000. That's the second highest I've ever seen. Now, you'd expect it to be right up there when it's 21 model, but nonetheless, second highest price ever in a Magnum 380. Same deal on the Magnum 310, 22 model, 710 hours for $276, second highest price ever. I think they had like 25 planters on the sale. The nicest of the bunch was a 23 model Case IH 2150 high speed bulk fill 24 30-inch. That went for $245. Solid price there, hard cash. That was, I think, the fifth highest ever on a Case IH planter.
Okay.
They did a snuck in a green one there, green tractor, an 18 model John Deere 8320R. So we're $2,600 at $222. So solid pricing there, I thought, last Monday.
Okay. When you got 25 planters on an auction like that, sometimes the risk is that the bottom just falls out on one or two of them. Did you notice anything like that?
Well, I mean, what I would say, these examples I'm quoting here are the tops from the auction. When you have a depth like that, you say you're selling 20 of them. I would say the planter market is holding. Maybe, well, obviously the time of year here is working in its favor. But I would say in general across the tractor market, if they aren't the nicest of condition, we definitely have seen some softening there. And even some of these I'm quoting, like the third highest ever, the second highest ever. Frankly, if it would have been a year ago, the market was stronger, even back into November, like our previous example on the 8300.
Yeah,
they just would have sold higher. But now here we are in mid-March, and the conditions are softer. So there is some recalibrating going on, no question.
Okay. All right. Clayton, Wisconsin, some hay and forage equipment last Wednesday.
Yeah, last Wednesday evening, Hager auction, online farm auction. I think I touched on it last week. Had my eye on this one, other end of the spectrum. It's smaller equipment. The dollars aren't, 6-digit. They're, just smaller, but nonetheless, some nice stuff. I thought that sold well. They had a Kuhn Merge Max 300 merger, $20,250. That's the highest I've ever seen on that model. They had a Kuhn GF 7902 Tedder, $18,750. Same deal, highest auction price on that model. Kuhn SR112 rake, $8,000. Same deal there. Now, thing is, the new ones cost quite a bit more. Mm-hmm. So some people might look at those prices and go, "Oh, those were really soft." But again, that's the highest hard cash auction price I've ever seen. Same deal on a Heston 1372 disc bind, went for $18.25. And then a nice forage harvester, a New Holland FP 230 with no heads, went for $17,750. I think the two heads went for $6,000 and $5,000. So if you total them all up, you're pushing $29,000 there. So it's nice, clean hay and forage equipment there last Wednesday in Clayton, Wisconsin.
Okay. All right. let's hop on over to Michigan, Pittsford, Michigan. What that looks like it was a big auction.
Yeah, it was the biggest state auction, farm state auction Saturday, Pittsford, Michigan, like you said, Chip, by Whalen Realty and Auction. Some high test stuff here. Interesting results. The 2019 John Deere 8345R, 780 hours, went for $315,000.
Okay.
Now that one was pretty high. I mean, that was tied for the third highest I've ever seen on an 8345R. They also had a 20 model John Deere 8R310, 531 hours. That brought $290. Now that would be a bit softer than it would have been maybe 6 months ago, but still scraping $300K. 21 model John Deere 6130R tractor, 620 hours, $135. For you 40/20 fans out there, a 71 model, 9,099 hours at 18,540. Another interesting one I thought was a 24 model Wilson 40-foot grain trailer. It brought $55,000. And then a skid steer, a 22 model Deere 333G, 190 hours at 79K. So again, super nice stuff there Saturday over in Pittsford, Michigan.
Yep. And some tillage equipment on that one. We've been talking a little bit more about those high-speed discs. Yeah. What'd you get?
Yeah, they did have a high-speed disc. You're right, a 22 model John Deere 2680H. That brought $79,310.
Wow.
You know, the big check. It might be a little lighter than it would have been 6-12 months ago, but that was then, this is now. So again, scraping $80K, it's a big money for a tillage item.
All right. We've got time. Let's talk about this 4230 that you've been covering.
Yeah, it was fun last Tuesday, Chip. I spoke in Goshen, Indiana at the Elkhart County Soil and Water Conservation Pay Dirt event. Great event by Jim Hess out there. Afterwards, like always, I get visiting with people, and a young guy came up, AJ Kaufman. He goes, Pete, I got to show you this picture. It was his grandpa, Steve Kaufman, with his 1973 John Deere 4230. And I posted a picture of it on social this weekend, and the picture was awesome. It's Grandpa Steve in front of this beautiful looking like new tractor. But it was the story. He said, AJ told me, Pete, Grandpa bought this, ordered it in January 73 up out of Boyers, Michigan for like $10,640. Now that was right before the market took off. So they delivered it April 1st of 73, and by then dealers were getting more than retail, kind of a lottery system, and they delivered it, and he's had it since, got 7,250 hours, beautiful picture. And I posted it, and then it made me think, hey, wait a minute. I actually have pictures in the archive here from August 19th of 1972. That was the weekend when Deere released the new 30 Series tractor, the new 30 Series tractors 52 years ago with the Sound Guard cabs. And it made me laugh, Chip, because you and I were just in Louisville and Houston to see this Saturday Classic, see these Deere unveil their new tractors, now $1.3 million. Well, it was a little different in 1972. They just had the dealers throw cardboard over the cabs.
Yeah.
And I posted a picture of that, and it was funny the number of people commented saying, oh, yeah, I remember that day. And so it was a lot of fun talking 4230s this weekend.
Yep. Okay, real quick, what are you watching this week?
2 sales tomorrow. One is in Michigan, Bayport, Michigan, by Albrecht Auction, low-hour John Deere tractors. Also tomorrow, Adam Marshall Land and Auction in Nebraska. Nice John Deere tractors. Be keeping an eye on those folks, and we'll keep you up to snuff on the prices.
Outstanding. Travel safe, Greg. Thanks, buddy.
You bet. Talk to you soon.
All right, Greg Peterson, Machinery Pete. Davis and I will be right back to wrap up this morning's AgriTalk.
AgriTalk is brought to you by Smart Nutrition MAP plus MST, fertilizer designed with seed safety in mind. Smart Nutrition MAP plus MST is engineered with a lower salt index. Learn how it protects your seed at smartnutritionmst.com. Welcome back to AgriTalk, everybody. Your pal Davis Michelson here with you on your Monday morning. Chip is here as well.
Absolutely.
Let's just run it down. Let's start at the top.
Yeah.
Brett Waltz from BAM WX. Now, I kind of feel like if at this point, maybe temperatures set back about 10 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like we'd still be kind of ahead of the game a little bit.
I'm sure.
Yeah, but
when you take the frost out of the ground in the end of January,
yeah,
you're ahead of the game.
And that's the thing, because I don't think on that basis it would necessarily delay anyone in the bulk of the Corn Belt from getting some work done either. Probably in pretty decent time.
There are some out there that maybe had decided, what the heck? Let's do that. Yeah. Let's do that 30 acres of beans and see what turns out. They're going to be watching those pretty doggone closely.
Yeah.
But for the guys that went out and put anhydrous down, cooling the soil temperatures down is not going to scare them at all.
Yeah.
That's just going to keep the product in place that much longer, and it'll be there and waiting for the seed when the seed gets in the ground.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, moving on to Senator Grassley. I may need your help kind of translating some of this farm bill, spending bills. Just, I don't feel confident that, I don't have much confidence that anything can get done. To be honest, and I tend to agree with the senator when he says it was a very partisan speech that the president gave. And I think that's very indicative of the State of the Union in some sort of weird, ironic way.
Yep. Boy, you got
that being the
right.
case, you're optimistic. I'm whatever not quite so optimistic might be, I guess. And I won't go pessimism. I'm not going that far because this is America. Okay. We get it done. This is America. But I don't know. Your thoughts?
If guys like Senator Grassley, Senator Moran, Senator Bozeman, if they can keep there's others to throw in there, on this list.
Well,
Ernst, Thune, and anybody sitting on the Senate Ag Committee. If they can keep the pressure on and the attention on the Farm Bill, then I think that will up the odds that the pressure will eventually lead Stabenow to try to move a bill forward. That's where my optimism is coming from.
Okay.
And so when you look at the comments that we got from Senator Moran last week, that was a way of applying some pressure, right? I think it was, saying, hey, we see that you've disengaged. We need you to re-engage and get this done.
Yeah.
Then you've got Senator Grassley who says, you know what? There's the momentum really hasn't changed that much, but off the record, this is what we heard from Chairwoman Stabenow. There's some encouragement there. Yeah. Because here's the deal. How long have Senators Stabenow and Grassley known each other? I can't imagine that Senator Stabenow would take Senator Grassley off to the side just to fill him full of crap.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
On the Farm Bill. That doesn't make any sense to me. If there was no way that she was serious about that, I don't think she would have told Senator Grassley that. Just my thought.
It was interesting, though. I keep hearing it echoing in my head, the quote of Senator Grassley saying Stabenow has thrown in the towel. It was earlier last week. Yeah. Maybe he's had a change of heart. Maybe there have been conversations we don't know about.
A private conversation, like he says, like he had with Stabenow, can change attitudes. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, maybe I do feel a little bit better.
You want a reason to be optimistic and excited?
Absolutely, I do.
Well, we're going to be doing a little bit of celebrating this afternoon. We're not going to go crazy.
No.
We're not going crazy. It's going to be a show. There's no question about it. We will talk markets, but we're going to be celebrating 10 years of the afternoon hour of AgriTalk. Remember, it started as Market Rally Radio.
That's right.
And then we had AgriTalk ATB after the bell. And now it's the second hour of AgriTalk. And 10 years, Davis.
Yeah.
10 years since you started doing the markets at 2:06 Central every weekday afternoon.
Yep. And you and I both know who we have to thank for us being able to do this every single day for 10 freaking years. That's like a decade. That's like a decade.
It is.
It's the listeners.
Right.
We have had some listeners with us from the from before the first broadcast. And obviously we've picked up listeners along the way, and we really do appreciate you all. One of the best looking, most intelligent audiences in radio today, I would dare say, Chip.
I think you're probably right on that. I think you're probably right. And the hundreds of guest analysts that we've had on.
Oh, man.
It's like 2,600 shows is what that comes to. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 2,600 hours of broadcasting what's going on in the markets. We're going to take a little bit of time and celebrate that. We've got the original guest analyst on the show, Arlen Suderman from Stone X. And believe it or not, the first person that asked the first question, the first listener that asked the first question, has already submitted his question for Arlen. So we'll be sure to get to that as well. We're celebrating 10 years of AgriTalk after the bell market rally today.